if you're 18 to 29, your first reaction to learning about Israel and its behavior has not been the multiple decades of unlimited propaganda coming from mainstream outlets. So cute, my little Hasanito. Anyway, Quinnipiac, latest numbers from Quinnipiac, once again, is supporting Israel in the United States national interest. On October 2023, Democrats had a 76% opinion that supporting Israel was in the U.S. national interest. In the month of September, it is down 40 points to 36%. Not low enough. We got to get those numbers even lower. For independents, it was at 74%. Now for independents, it's at 37%. Again, not low enough. We got to get those numbers even lower. For Republicans, of course, on October, it was at 84%, and now in September, it's at 75%. The real reason why I think this continues is because obviously they love Donald Trump. Donald Trump dick rides Israel into oblivion. That's a big part of the fact. That's a big consideration. But the other real reason is because of Islamophobia. Okay? I've seen this far too many times from anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, supposedly anti-Israel, anti-Semites themselves even, where they literally say, Jews control the media, Jews control America. I hate that. They're doing a national embarrassment to us. They're forcing our politicians' hands. But also, at least their enemies, as it stands, is Muslims, and we hate Muslims even more. I think Israel recognizes that as well, and that's precisely the reason why they heightened the Islamophobia and wield it as a weapon. Do you understand? Yes, there's another poll that came out. 40% of Americans think Israel is intentionally killing civilians. 16% only say unintentionally. That number has grown from 22% in December to 40% now. And 25% say Israel's taking enough precautions to avoid civilian casualties. This is a devastating number. And it showcases, once again, how much power the American mainstream media still has over the minds of so many goddamn people. Okay? Make no mistake. It is crazy. I mean, it's fantastic that clearly Americans are broadly opening up their eyes to the actions of Israel. Okay, that's good. Among age 18 and 29, provide more economic/military support to Israel is at 68% opposed. Don't worry, Larry Ellison is on the case. A couple more algorithm tweaks to TikTok, and it'll be 2007 again. Yeah. I don't think these guys are aware of how much things have changed, especially for the youth. Because remember, if you're 18 and 29, your fucking first foray into understanding this dynamic. If you're 18 to 29, your first reaction to learning about Israel and its behavior has not been the multiple decades of unlimited propaganda coming from mainstream outlets that say Israel is the most moral generation. Okay? You're also far removed from the immediate Islamophobia of 9/11. So you weren't like old enough to download that into your fucking collective consciousness that like Muslims present this genuine fear. They present this genuine fear for Western society. There is still a good chunk of that, make no mistake. But I think for a lot of people, their first experience learning about Israel has been, oh my God, these guys are the most arrogant, entitled, genocidal monsters I have ever fucking seen in my life. So very difficult for those people to see Israel as anything but what it truly is. Do you understand? Who do you sympathize more with? 90% say Israel, 61% say Palestinians. Should Israel stop and continue military campaigns? 19% say continue. 69% for age 18 to 29 say stop. 66% say Israel is intentionally killing civilians. Okay? Anyway, yeah, I already covered this. Yes. From Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the second largest resistance faction, Secretary General of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad Movement, Mujahid leader Ziad al-Nakhallah says, what was announced at the press conference between Trump and Netanyahu is an American-Israeli agreement, an exception of Israel's entire position, and a recipe for continued aggression against the Palestinian people. Thus, Israel is trying to impose, what about October 7? What do you mean, what about October 7? In the immediate aftermath of October 7, there were a lot of people that were utterly horrified by all of the violence that they had seen. For a very brief moment, they also were like, oh my God, of course Israel's going to fucking kill all these people. But if you noticed, for the past 2 years, hi, I'm Samer from Gaza. Okay. Well, I don't know why you're fucking asking this stupid ass question then. For the past 2 years, Israel's done a million October 7s and worse. So obviously people went from October 7 was terrifying to, oh my God, what Israel has done is incalculable and far worse than anything that the October 7 ever could have done. And it goes beyond, for the record. That is just a way for people to start their intellectual journey. Do you understand? Like, for many people, it was, oh my God, Israel has to respond militarily. What the fuck? This is unbearable. These are barbaric monsters. To, oh my God, what Israel is doing is unimaginably worse. To, oh my God, this shit was going on. Israel was doing things exactly like this pre-October 7. Because this opens up a lot of people's eyes to the reality, right? And if their first reaction was pro-Israel on October 7, 2023, their reaction slowly changes because of Israel's unlimited violence and its genocide. And every single day, there are more people who turn around and say, oh my God, I was so wrong. This is completely unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable. In 2023, a supermajority of Americans, 69%, believed it was in our national interest to support Israel. Today, that number is 47 and falling fast. Yet Israel seems only intent on accelerating what half the country now agrees is an ongoing genocide. No, I didn't watch. Did Joe Rogan attend Epstein parties, man? What are you talking about? I didn't watch it. Like, here, this person is a perfect example of this. This person, until like only a couple months ago, was literally still like, you know, Hasan, I'm a fan of you, but I also see Ethan Klein's side on this. Like, only a couple months ago, I remember this username. Okay? That is the reason why I let bygones be bygones in many circumstances. Because, like, once you open your eyes to how one-sided this genocide is and how asymmetrical the disproportionate violence that Palestinians have been subjected to actually looks like throughout the inception of the Israeli nation state, and throughout 80 plus years of complete domination, okay, slowly but surely, people arrive at the position that I was at on October 6 and the same position that I was at on October 7 and October 8, 2023. The reason why people were so aggressive and trying to stamp out any sort of discontent that had this, that said, hold on now, there's a reason why October 7 happened. This is like, much more complex than you think it is. This is about apartheid. This is about Israel's death and destruction campaign that predated October 7. The reason why so many people were immediately fearful of that kind of statement and looked for ways in which they could justify why I was saying such a thing was because they just didn't know the history. Okay? They just did not know the history. Do you understand? They didn't know the history. That's it. Because if you did know the history, you would have that position at that moment too. And I spent a lot of time early on trying to explain said history to anyone who would listen. And slowly but surely, more and more people actually came to that recognition. Do you understand? That's why, as long as I hear from someone, like, I would say Bernie Sanders is like, hold on his liberal Zionist position is unique, partially because he's old and partially because of his own personal connection to Israel. Most people don't operate like that. They don't just like stop at that version of liberal Zionism. Most people move far beyond that and go towards anti-Zionism. It takes time. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of reading. It takes a lot of critical thinking. But once you have recognized that like Israel is the international rights violating party there, unless you are literally brain broken by Islamophobia, it is an inevitability that you will become an anti-Zionist. Do you understand? And even Bernie, in the aftermath of the UN recognition, while still fucking laying the blame on Hamas, openly recognized that it was a genocide. He was forced to.
天上太阳风呀风通通的，心中太阳是毛泽东的，看到我们的结伴呢，这里本身当家做主人，一呀一自由，两呀自由啊，这里本身上。